our last presentation this afternoon, we are very happy to have Supervisor Patterson read. If Fred Collins would come up, this is to recognize Indigenous peoples, and Supervisor Patterson will read the resolution, and then we'll let you take over from there, Fred.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Chairman Hill. I want to preface my comments by saying that we've been informed that the resolution as it went out in the agenda had a couple of typos in it. We've corrected those on the resolutions, but of course the agenda packet, it's too late to back that out. And we have made that correction, recognizing people as peoples, as plural. And the history behind this, briefly, is Mr. Collins asked Chairman Hill and I if we would be willing to bring this resolution forward, and we've worked with Mr. Collins and other members of the Indigenous peoples community, the Native Americans in the area, to put together this resolution, and I'm quite honored to read it. This is a resolution supporting the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Whereas on September 13, 2007, the United Nations adopted the Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples, and on December 17, 2010, the United States declared its support for the Declaration. And whereas the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples acknowledges that Indigenous peoples are equal to all other peoples and recognizes the rights of all peoples to be different, to consider themselves different, and to be respected as such. And whereas all peoples of San Luis Obispo County contribute to the diversity and richness of civilizations and cultures which constitute the common heritage of humankind. And whereas San Luis Obispo recognizes the rights of Indigenous peoples and has enhanced harmonious and cooperative relations between the county and Indigenous peoples based on principles of justice, democracy, respect for human rights, non-discrimination, and good faith, and recognizes the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples as a standard of achievement to be pursued in a spirit of partnership and mutual respect. And whereas the provisions set forth in this resolution affirm that in San Luis Obispo County, the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples shall be interpreted in accordance with the principles of justice, democracy, respect for human rights, equality, non-discrimination, good governance, and good faith. Now therefore be it resolved and ordered that the Board of Supervisors does hereby affirm support for Indigenous peoples and all races, supports this resolution, and supports the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. Receive this copy, and I know many of you have come long distance to be here this afternoon, and if you'd like to take a few minutes to speak to this, we'd be happy to hear that. And there are extra copies.
Chairman Adam Hill, Supervisor Jim Patterson, Supervisor Bruce Gibson, Supervisor Frank Meacham, Supervisor Paul Teixeira. You know, it's interesting how, you know, we've all become friends, and I think this is probably the most important thing to have happen in a community of Indigenous people and people who guide the county. Being friends, we take things out of our way to understand each other as human beings. And, you know, there's a lot of laws and there's a lot of things that guide us in our work and our daily work. But being real human beings to each other as we are neighbors and caretakers of this wonderful land that we live in, I thank you and I honor you very much for that opportunity and the way that you treat the Native American community. I also want to thank you for being the first. You are the first governing body in the United States to pass a resolution supporting the UN Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People, and I want to give you a big hand for that. That says a lot about your character, and I believe that from this point on, your lives will change. This is a life-changing situation here that you've endorsed and that you put on the table for Native Americans. So, we give you our blessings and we give you our spirit, and, your lives will change in a good way. So there are several people here that are leaders of councils from the Chumash Nation, and I'd like to have them say a few words. And then, again, I can't thank you enough for this opportunity and the feeling that we're getting here from this great event. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
First off, I'd like to have Mark, for Denise. Denise is a chairperson for the Coastal Band Chumash Nation, and she's here to speak on this issue.
Welcome.
Atu, San Luis Obispo County Board of Supervisors. Me too, Venice Miller Forte. Hello, SLO County Board of Supervisors. My name is Venice Miller Forte. I am the tribal chairperson of the Coastal Band of the Chumash Nation, which consists of families from Santa Barbara County, Ventura County, and San Luis Obispo County. As of April 2011, our community also adopted the Declaration of Independence on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. We believe that implementing this declaration will end discrimination of Indigenous peoples' rights to spiritual traditions, culture, lands, and natural resources that has hindered our people for so long. The exploitation of our people's language, culture, lands, and religion created by the European settlement caused our spiritual leaders to go underground. We pray for all people's well-being, for the fire, clean water, the four-legged, and most of all, Hutash, our Mother Earth, which are all vital to the web of life. This declaration relieves that oppression that Indigenous peoples experience to this very day. It acknowledges our human rights and our right to be treated with equality. The declaration honors Indigenous peoples' knowledge, culture, and traditional practices as key components to the environment. We gather tule for our baskets, willow for our ops, elderberry for sustenance, and to make wansak so we can sing and pray. When we gather, we believe before we take, we give. We do this by being aware of natural resources as a living resource, being aware of its environment to make sure it is in good health and abundance, praying to it and giving thanks to what we are receiving from it. Adopting this resolution will promote, as you said in your resolution, the partnerships between Indigenous peoples, government agencies, and non-governmental agencies to benefit the community. Adopting this declaration, as you also said, is a good faith effort. It will help relieve and heal that oppression that has been for so long. It will allow us to open our arms and help educate the community on the health of the environment and to help protect those resources that are so vital to us. Our community would like to thank you and the community as a whole of San Luis Obispo County for adopting this invaluable and resourceful document. And with that, I would like to close with the song. Bitayanan, bitayanan, bitayanan hipi washiyu. Bitayanan, bitayanan, bitayanan hipi washiyu. She antikich, iki akaklu. She antikich, iki akaklu. She antikich, she antikich, she antikich. And what that song talks about is that we are alive, we are here. Come walk with us, come join us, and let's share our knowledge. Thank you.